let's pitch, work together, and that way things will come to us, you know.
Okay. In a village or in an area where was there usually one person who used the plants and herbs, or was it each household?
Well, when they usually pick them where, like I say, you know, you got to go where nobody been around, and when they're out hunting, they just pick them right there. They pick them there, and sometimes when there's a whole bunch, they mark it, they blaze it, and then they tell their people to go there, you know, and that's where the herbs are, because them days was hard. They were hard to come by.
So what you're saying is both men and women would pick the herbs and they knew which ones to look
Yeah,
for.
they know what kind to look for, because you can't go where there's running water. You got to where the water is still, like a lake. You know, it's not running or nothing like that. You got to go in there, and it holds the nourishment. It's just like if I'm going to build a sled, right today I can tell you if it's a good birch or a bum birch. When I was younger, I had to go and test them. It takes me a whole day to find. Now I can just go out and look at it, and I can tell you, yeah, that's the kind of birch. And you got to get the right kind of birch. You can't get it too big. He's too old. He lost his strength. If you get him too young, too small, he's too young. He ain't got his strength. You got to get the right kind. And it's just like if you're out in wintertime, you wanna drink water, and you want to eat snow. So you grab that snow on top. That'll cut your thirst down. Yeah, it'll cut your thirst down, but that snow up on top is too fresh. It got no nourishment. It's just like a little baby. And it'll work through your body, and it'll just get you so weak. If you want to eat snow, you take that bottom one, that one that got the nourishment. And that's when you want to make your tea or your water or whatever. You use that one. That's why right today people just give up. I was walking with a fella the other day, Bob. We went down river down here, and we walked 12 miles, and I was in good health. And it was getting dark. Every once in a while, he'd tell me, "Howard, you know where you're going?" I said, "Yeah, I know where I'm going." And there was an old cabin there, and he went in there. I told him, "Come on, Bob, this another mile." I said, "We'll run into the Debbie and Virgil live down there." No, he said, "Howard, I'm going to stop for a while." And it was getting dark, you know. So I just kept on walking, and so I went down to Virgil and them. It was 12 o'clock midnight, you know, and they were just going to bed. And I come and they said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Our car broke down, so we started walking." I said, and he said, "You alone?" "No," I said, "There's Bob over there, Bob Killer." Bob Killer, you know Bob Killer? Anyway, I said, he's over there in that old cabin. I said, he went inside. I said, "Go over and get him." So he went in there. You see, that's what they do. They give up. They give up. When you give up like that, you lose your strength, you know. Just like if you fall in water, if you get your feet wet, the worst thing you can do is take your socks off and rinse your socks out. That's the worst thing you can do. You leave that stuff in there and you put snow over it, and it'll insulate itself. You have water in there, that stuff it'll take the moisture and keep you warm. That's how come a lot of people freeze their foot. They figure that water, and then they rinse their socks off, you know, and that stuff like that. And that's what I try to tell people, because I've been there, but nowadays people don't want to listen. And that snow is a bad one. There was a friend of mine one time. He went trapping with me, and we had about 2 more miles to go to our sled, you know. And he was eating snow all the time. I forgot to tell him about that. And he just gave up. He gave up right on it. He said, "Go ahead and go home. Tell my wife I'll be there tomorrow." I went back, and he just gave up. He just left. And thought of it. I said, "You've been eating snow, huh?" He said, "Yeah, Howard." He said, "I got so thirsty." He says, "Now," he said, "I'm so weak I can't move." So I told him, "You just stay here. Just stay there." It was in springtime, you know. "You just stay here, and I want to walk back to the dogs." And I did. And I went back and I got the dogs and came to pick them up. And that's what it is, you know. You give up. That stuff it's got no nourishment in there. Anything like your water, you know. If you get in a lake where there's get water and it's got taste on it, got awful taste in it, you got to boil that stuff before you drink it, you know. And always chew on willow or something like that. It'll cut your thirst down too. Anything, you know, it'll cut your thirst down. Oh, there's a lot of things. I can sit here days and tell you about these things.
I wanted to return to your mom and thinking about the book and thinking about ways of incorporating that information. Could you describe the respect that people had for your mom?
Well, Mom, they really believe in them. You know, them days, you know, when a widow is a widow, you know, got no husband or nothing, and people used to get in together and help each other. Like if we didn't, one time was at Nenana, and my stepdad got sick. He couldn't do nothing, you know. He had pneumonia them days. They couldn't do nothing for him. They tried everything, you know, and they couldn't do nothing for him. So, them days they had a chief. They used to have a chief, and that chief used to go around the village all the time, you know. And he used to get little of this one, little of this one, and little of that. If nobody didn't have nothing, these people didn't have nothing, they all go out there and they cut wood for you and they do a lot of things. And that's what they did. They they did that for Mom. Mom had all kind of grub and a lot of wood, and we can have lights and stuff like that. For we were so poor, you know, and they respect her for that because they respect Grandma. They knew what Grandma did at one time. Grandma used to help a lot of people at one time, you know, because she was so strong. I mean, they call her the bear killer, you know, because she killed a bear with an axe. They were moving, you know. That time there was no game, so they were just following the game, you know. Wherever there was a game, they stopped there. If they see moose track, they just make camp right there, and they just stay there, and the men started going. So Grandma was walking way behind. Mom was saying she was walking way behind, and she had some bunch of little pups was running with her. And them little pups, they started smelling something. So she just took time off, and them pups just started smelling. They smelled, and they started digging. So she went over there with a little hump there. She went over there, and she went like this and shoveled with her snowshoes, take the snow out, and sure enough, there was a bear in there, and she seen it was alive because she could tell that warm heat. You could tell. I could tell you if there's a bear in that den right today by the frost. So she knew that, and first thing she did, you get a long stick, you know, because sometimes that bear, he can fool you. He can dig down this way, and you'll be poking over him this way. And sometimes he'll go this way. So you always want to get a stick that it's strong, you know, and it's got a bend on there, so you can just drag it. And that's what she did. She poked that bear, and she'd sit up there. That bear move. So she knew there was a bear. She had a little hatchet, and she just stood on top there and clapped that bear. The thing. How come they call her the bear killer? So those are why people really respect mom on account of grandma. Grandma used to help a lot of people, you know, and and give them, tell them not to go there. This is what's going to happen. So be careful, she tell people. People used to look after one another, you know. They had a leader that they listened to. Right today, you know, if I'm talking right now, they'll just tell me, oh hell, he just talk, and that's why I say today, you know, people don't want to listen. And it's bound to happen. And I strongly believe in that right today, because you see how I live right now. I got all these things ready. If I need them, I got them. And always have a big wood pile in front of your house. That's what they say. And always watch out for your friend, you know, and share with them. The more you share with one another, the more power they'll give you. You share with one another. But right now, you know, like I say, you know, the dollar is not everything, you know. You and I is the one who got to watch out for one another, because I no more get through talking to you and you walk out the door and you keel over, but that dollar will be still there yet. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Anything more, Charles?
That's all I had. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is why I say, you know, people get excited, you know, get excited too fast, you know. Like when I shot my finger off, I walking back here, it happened right here, you know. And I thought it was in fall time, just like this month here, just before closing season. So I heard a moose hollering back there. So early in the morning, I'm going to go back there. That moose would be there, because I called that night, you know. So he'd be back there. So I had a brand new 30-30, a brand new one. You see that old 30-30? That's older than I am. That's been passed down. Chief Thomas used to have that gun, and his son had that gun. And that barrel is just as good as new. You put the shell in there, just tight. So I was walking back, and I carried that gun like this, you know. I carry a gun like that all the time. Holding my finger like this on the barrel like that, and I was barrel down like that, you know. And I was walking level, it's just level out here. I never tripped or nothing. And all at once I heard a shot. I heard a shot. See, I turned around. I said, "Quit fooling around with her. Come on out." I said, "I thought somebody shot, you know." And nobody come out. And so I walked a little more, and I said, "Come on out, quit fooling around. It's getting late." And nobody showed up. So I started walking. I looked at my hand. My finger was hanging down. My gloves. I had gloves on, and the gloves were hanging down. I never thought, you know, things happen. I could have got scissors and I could have just cut it off, because just little was hanging right there. And I never got excited, nothing. It didn't bother me. I didn't feel it. I didn't have no feeling at all, you know. Because, you know, there's someone that's watching out for me. So I didn't get scared. People get excited, you know. So right away I got a piece of rope, you know, and I tied it around. I tied it really tight. I just twisted, you know. Hurt, but and airboat come by there. Much as I hated airboat, here comes these guys, and these guys are from from Colorado. They just came in. They just been here just 2 weeks. So I waved them down. I had a big motor, but that time you have to pull those, you know. 22 Evan route, and I couldn't pull with my left-handed, so I just stand out there, and they wave. I waved them, and they came and picked me up, and they took me to town, and they knew what to do. He just tied me up like this and hung my look at. And I got to town, I come to. And it started bothering me. And that's when I said, that somebody was watching over me, that they did this. And the people never knew nothing. They got all excited when they see my finger hanging down there. They almost fainted. The guy was just going like this. He said, going up, and I didn't know nothing about it because I was just rubbing them when they going up. So those are the things, that people never get excited. There's always a way, always a way. This is why it says people have got to watch out for each other and share with each other.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.